Today we're going to start with a great friend from the town of Pound Ridge, up in Pound Ridge, that's closest to the Leatherman Loop, right before it goes into the state of Connecticut. Doing some great things that are up there in the town of Pound Ridge. We're looking forward to being there on June 19th when they're going to have their June 19th celebration, I guess at 7 o'clock in the evening. Certainly he'll tell us a little bit more about all the things that are going on up there, especially a great park that was developed with the Supervisor's leadership. So with that, with the 5,201 people that are in the town of Pound Ridge, we're going to ask our good friend Kevin Hansan to come up and let us know what's going on in the town of Pound Ridge. Kevin.
Yeah, thank you very much, Ken. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you, and we do look forward to seeing you on our Juneteenth celebration there. Yeah, that was one of the milestones for the town where we took over an old gas station, and people asked me, why'd you take over the old gas station? It's just pollution and everything else, and we realized if we didn't, it would only get worse. They'd been behind in their property taxes, and so we went ahead and took over it and now turned it in through private donations into a beautiful little pocket park that we have in town. But today I'm really going to talk about what happened in November of 2024. The Environmental Facilities Corporation awarded the town of Pound Ridge a New York State water infrastructure grant of $7,634,900. It's the largest grant ever for a town of Pound Ridge. That's for our Scotts Corners drinking water improvement project, and this is all part of the state's drinking water state revolving fund. We are very thankful to the Environmental Facilities Corporation for this award, as well as we are thankful to the New York State Department of Health, the Westchester County Department of Health, the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation, our partners in government at the federal, state, county levels, including County Executive Ken Jenkins, for all their support with the grant application. This grant covers 70% of the approximate $11 million construction costs to pipe clean water, and some would call it city water, from Stamford, Connecticut, across the border, state border, into our business district. The remaining 30% of the construction costs, we subsequently found out, may be eligible for reimbursement funding through the 2021-2022 federal bipartisan infrastructure bill. Additionally, though, we submitted congressional direct spending applications to both the U.S. Senators Schumer and Gillibrand in the event that the federal bipartisan infrastructure bill funding is no longer available to us. A question that's asked of me is why solicit federal funds for a New York State project? And the answer is really quite simple. As Ken alluded to, Pound Ridge is a border town with the state of Connecticut, and our commercial properties in our Scotts Corners business districts are still individual well and septics. And these individual well and septic systems have been in place for well over, in many cases, over 100 years. And this, this past year, we have been found out that after doing some initial testing, that a number of our wells in our commercial businesses have tested above the federal and state contamination levels for PFAS. So with that, we quickly organized a water district and pursued the water grant. It's good to remember that this portion of Pound Ridge is in the Long Island watershed. It's not in the New York City watershed. So we supply, Pound Ridge is actually the supplier of water to Stamford, Greenwich, and that whole portion of the state of Connecticut. So by reducing the PFAS that flows from our septic systems, we will be assisting Connecticut in their efforts to remove PFAS from its drinking waters. Today, we are waiting for the New York State Comptroller's Office to approve their recently funded water district, or a recently formed water district, before we can move forward with any construction. The Comptroller's Office must ensure all legal and administrative hurdles have been overcome before we can start spending water district funds. We hope to have those issues resolved later this year, and even once those issues are resolved, we will have hurdles to overcome to get all the permits and permissions of both New York State and Connecticut regulatory agencies before we can begin. Once completed, however, we know this will be an economic boost for our commercial business district. Property owners should see an increase in their property values and now have more flexibility to expand their septic systems, since more land will be readily available for their leaching fields. All Pound Ridge residents will benefit from a more vibrant business district here. So with that, thank you, and I look forward to seeing you in Juneteenth.
All right, Supervisor Kevin Hansan. Something we want to make sure to continue to echo the great work the supervisor and his team does up in the town of Pound Ridge. And he was talking about a specific issue, and legislator Erica Lang Pierce, who represents Pound Ridge, was helpful in making sure that things are continuing to happen. Last year, many of you may recognize that the PFAS, the authorized levels of PFAS was lowered to another number, and villages certainly and towns up in our northern end of the county, especially the ones that are right around the watersheds, would be able to understand that there was challenges in the communities. Scotts Corner, as the supervisor was pointing out, those businesses were impacted, and the other solutions were significant costs. So we think, and we want to continue to commend the supervisor and his entire team, his professionals that are up in the town as well, along with the board members up there, to be focused, listening to the business community as well as the residents in the community, trying to get those things resolved. So we thank the Supervisor Kevin Hansan and all of his team for making sure that our Department of Health and everyone else was trying to work with them to try to understand how to come up with some mitigation strategies. And again, I think there's a lot of people that don't understand the geography that shows that it's in the Long Island watershed as opposed to the New York City watershed that some other folks have other impacts on. So again, congratulations to the town getting the largest grant ever from the Environmental Facilities Corporation, $7+ million to do that for $11 million project. But more importantly, improving the quality of the water that everyone is drinking, specifically in the business community. And then you have to deal with the other things in those areas that aren't served by sewer systems like septic systems, and making sure that everything works appropriately. So again, but by being creative, working with partners at every level, certainly shout out to Senators Gillibrand and Schumer, Leader Schumer, and certainly our state senator, which is Shelley Mayer in that area, and I guess it's Chris Burdick, that's the assembly member that's working together with them. So again, there's everyone working at every level trying to make sure that that's done. And certainly we want to make sure all of our congressional representatives up there, as Mike Lawler, to be able to fight to keep that infrastructure bill, that the appropriations for that were made again to everywhere around the country, the bipartisan infrastructure bill, and make sure that those dollars could get into the community, that actually saves the community members money, but more importantly improves the quality of their water for the other $4 million that have to be done. So again, congratulations to the town, and I'm looking forward to being up there again. I'm taking an opportunity where there was another environmental hazard that was happening there, and the town did the work and the leadership of Supervisor Kevin Hansan, again, to make sure that turned it into, with private donations, a partnership to be the beautiful green that's there in Scotts Corner now. So again, we're looking forward to being up there soon.